All right. Welcome in. It is time for something I've never done before, which is try to put together a season long fantasy golf league similar to that of football, of course, the king of fantasy sports, to see if this is possible. This is the draft for a mock league that I got 11 other volunteers. Thank you very much. To help me test this out, to help me test the system out. Couple of things. Good morning, Javon, Tom Brady's butt chin. Good morning. Thanks for being here. This league, and the reason I wanted to come on a little bit live because I'll show you this. We're gonna run it on We're gonna try this out on Fantrax, which you should be able to see on your screen right now. A couple of things about this. We are just going to run from this week, CJ Cup, through Mayakoba. So it is a 7-week sprint. I have asked the kind gentleman in the league to help me make sure that waivers work properly, try to make some trades, really try to break the system. Now, with that being said, maybe I shouldn't say break the system because as some of you may know, around the industry this week, FanDuel was affected. Jevin, sorry, mispronunciation there. FanDuel was affected. Yahoo was affected. Fantrax was affected. There is some mysterious data provider out there that has thrown everybody into flux. And Fantrax is no different. So if you can read the statement that is on their website right now, scoring is not currently being provided and they do not have an ETA. Not great. I understand it. I work with data all the time. I know one little thing can screw everything up. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. If I need to manually score this league until it gets back up and running, I will do so. But we're going to figure this out as we go along. But I've asked the guys to be patient. There might be commissioner intervention just to make sure everything is running right. We are not playing for anything. I told them I would swag them up for their time and commitment to this league. So we've got some people in here. EPAT is in. EPAT has the 5th pick. I have the 11th pick. It is a snake draft. Now, remember, again, with only 7 weeks, the strategy is going to be really different. Like Bryson DeChambeau, not very valuable. He's only going to play once in the next 7 weeks. So I don't know where he's going to go in this draft. We'll see. I have tried to make the Fantasy Golf League as similar to fantasy football as possible. You can drop your questions in about the structure of this and I'll go through them. This is just what I've set up. I envision that there could be a lot of different, just in the same way as football, right? There's standard, there's PPR, there's half point PPR, there's dynasty, there's redraft, there's keeper, there's just a million different things. I envision the same can happen for golf. So you can kind of just find your partners. If all goes well, I plan to be in a lot of fantasy leagues come January, which is, I think, the most logical time to kick this off. And I will also do my best to kind of shepherd this idea through the industry. If you guys need a place to match up, find 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 other people to get into a league with you, I'm happy to hopefully try to facilitate that as well. It is head-to-head. I wanted to be able to do DraftKings scoring and rotisserie, where you would play every player every single week. That's not going to happen because I guess Fantrax doesn't allow it the way that we set it up. So we are going head to head. So for example, I am facing Read It, Roll It, Hole It in week 1. These are the week 1 matchups. Spring Break Boys versus Tee It High, Let It Fly. EPAT Golf versus Wyatt Slater 111. Bomb and Gouge versus X-Men. JT versus Comedy Mogul. Treeline Parklands versus Gilmore Girls. Those are the week 1 matchups. Now, obviously, with only 7 weeks, we are not going to play everybody. I think that if you look towards next season, I envision maybe 2-week matchups. We'll see. We'll see as the schedule comes out and things like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We are 1 minute and 23 seconds away from the first pick, which X-Men has. I don't know who the first pick should be. Should you just pick Sungjae and hope he plays 7 weeks in a row? I don't know. Luckily, I have the 11th pick. I can wait and see what the rest of the guys do. Should be pretty interesting. I will do at least the first couple of rounds of this. I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I don't know if you can see I'm set up for CBS sports obligations at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I've got probably 45 minutes before I need to hop off. I'll stream until then, or if it's over before, I'm not sure. I think we're only doing a minute per pick, so this should go fairly quickly. I see everyone except Wyatt Slater looks like they're online, which is good. Thank you very much. And then later today, EPAT and I, Eric Patterson, are going to record 300 yards to unknown. We can give our thoughts on this draft. We can chat through it, but I wanted to be able to do the draft first and then see what happens. Okay, 20 seconds away. X-Men is about to be on the clock. And also, I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't know if I can zoom in on Fantrax. Not a great way that they sort players. Like, they're sorting them by total fantasy points, which for guys who play a lot, that makes, like, I don't know. Who's the number 1 ranked player here? Christopher Ventura. Like, that's not true. So I've sorted it by fantasy points per game last season, and I have the official World Golf Rankings here just so that I am not missing out on anybody. So there's 2 live streams today. This is for the mock draft. I'm happy to kind of chat about CJ Cup if you want a little bit, but there is, I think it's at, let me see what time it's at. 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern will be the standard Wednesday live chat where we'll break down everything about the CJ Cup. So if you're looking for that, we'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern. X-Men is on the clock, I believe. Did this start? Oh, maybe it's starting now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now I think he's on the clock. Oh, no, he was auto-picked. I wonder if he set up a queue. He drafted Justin Thomas, which is a fine pick. I don't know if that's what he wanted to do. Matthew Wolf, second off the board. I don't know if he wanted to pick JT. I think he might have set a queue because if it was straight auto draft, it would have probably taken Christopher Ventura. Matthew Wolf off the board, that's a pretty good one. All right, Sungjae Im. There's the Sungjae Im pick. So you see, yeah, okay, not autos in the queue. Okay, good. So I'm looking at this as who's going to play a lot in the next couple of weeks. Most of the guys are going to play 3 times, right? They're going to play CJ Cup, they're going to play Zozo, they're going to play the Masters. I'm probably going to stick with one of those guys to start, but then also, looking at, I can pull up the cheat sheet here as well. Let me see if I can adjust this a bit here. Just so we can see. Try to keep these windows, try to keep the draft window open for you. Rory McIlroy, John Rahm off the board. Someone like, who might play a lot? Like Scotty Scheffler might play more than some of these guys. Or, I mean, once you start getting down into like the Russell Henleys and the Adam Hadwins, those guys are probably going to play quite a bit. I mean, it's almost pure studs off the board right now. So everyone going with the strategy of grabbing those 3 players, except Sungjae Im. That's pretty good. I imagine DJ could go undrafted here because DJ was only going to play 3 times anyway. And now, excuse me, We don't know when he's coming back. Presumably only the Masters. All right, so I'm looking at the official World Golf Rankings just to make sure I don't miss anybody. Daniel Berger might be interesting if it gets to me. So I'm at 11. Who should I be taking at 11? This is going to be an auto pick, and then I think this is going to give him like Christopher Ventura or somebody. Yeah, it's going to give him Christopher Ventura. So now I think that Team Wyatt Slater is in auto pick. I think I had it set up where if you timed out once, we were just going to auto pick for you. So Christopher Ventura is the play. Patrick Cantlay off the board. Okay, I'm coming up here. I got to figure this out. So I assume Xander's off the board. All right, it's my turn. There goes Berger. That was probably the guy I wanted to take. So I don't want Hatton. I don't want Cantlay. I don't want Scott. I don't want Finau. Hideki? Hideki might play 3 times. And then I'm going to have another pick soon, and I have an idea of who that pick might be. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Hideki here. If I can search him. This is pretty bad software. All right. I'm going to draft Hideki Matsuyama, I think. Okay. Make sure I do this right. All right. I'm in on Hideki. And the idea is I get him this week. I get him next week. I get him at Augusta, which is generally the strategy that everybody else took, which I don't know if that's right or not. But we have to fill 8 spots. So I think I'm okay here. And it's going to come back to me rather quickly. So now Patrick Reed is off the board. And I think I just want someone super solid here that I think might play quite a bit. And I have a guy in mind, as long as JT doesn't take him right now. He didn't. Okay, so that was Patrick Reed and Abraham Answer off the board. I'm going to take Harris English here. Super solid, makes a lot of cuts. Because remember, what we're doing is, this is kind of very, very quick. All right, I'm in for Harris English. So now my team is Hideki and Harris English. Remember, we are going 8 players on your roster. You have to start 4 each week is the way that we are going through this. It is very close to DraftKings scoring. It is not perfectly DraftKings scoring because we don't have the streaks, right? We don't have the 4 rounds under 70. We don't have the birdie streak, but we do have the finishing position and the hole-by-hole scoring. Hopefully you can see that for every position. Read It, Roll It, Hole It just took Webb Simpson. Now, Webb's not in the field this week, so that's probably maybe only 2 starts for Webb if he plays Zozo, although Webb could play like Houston before. I wouldn't be completely shocked about that. Again, if you're looking for the CJ Cup chat, it's at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. I'll be back on. Comedy Mogul does take DJ. And then I think that might have been I don't know if that was an auto pick, Emiliano Grillo. DJ off the board, which I think is, you're probably only going to get one crack at DJ. The way that I think about it. Brooks is off the board. Okay. Tee it high, let it fly. Let's look. Can I look at these other teams? So Tee It High, Let It Fly has Morikawa, Koepka. I'll tell you what, it's not bad. Bomb and Gouge takes Scotty Scheffler. That makes Xander and Scotty. That's pretty good. Comedy Mogul has Patrick Cantlay and Dustin Johnson. EPAT is on the clock right now. He has Rahm and I guess we're going to find out. And then these guys are going to get another pick here. So I've got Hideki and Harris English. Sungjae's already off the board. EPAT takes Bryson. I'm going to have to talk to him about that one. Gonna have to talk to EPAT about Bryson. He's only going to play the Masters, right? Hovland off the board. Wow. Okay. I've got a couple of guys I'm eyeing. Brendan Todd off the board. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm thinking maybe Louis could be interesting if it gets back to me, although there's a lot of picks in between what's going on right now. There are waivers, so waivers will run. So it's basically like football, right? So the tournament ends Sunday. You'll have Monday to get your waivers in, and then Tuesday they'll run so that you have them for the following week. So I've tried to mimic as much of the fantasy football aspect of this as I could. And of course, this is only just seven weeks. Last couple of picks. Siwoo, Charlie Hoffman, Bo Hostler. What I've noticed the last time I did a draft on Fantrax is if you're not prepared heading into this and you're using the rankings in the site, it's gonna be trouble. It's unfortunately not great software, and the way that they rank it is not ideal. I wish if they could just get the official World Golf Rankings in here, it would be a lot easier. They're actually ranking it based on fantasy points from, previous seasons, which, a lot of guys, total fantasy points, right? Like they play a lot. So guys like Scott Harrington, who had 989 fantasy points, is one of the highest ranked players left. It's not interesting. Although I don't know. I don't want to give it away here. Okay, Louis off the board. Tommy Fleetwood, of course Eric took Tommy Fleetwood. That was his avatar on Twitter for a while. I see a guy that I want. I don't want to say it yet. I see a guy, and I don't think I'm going to get him. Okay, so there's a couple strategies here. There's the strategy where you take a stud who's going to play 3 events. There's this other strategy that says you take a guy that's probably going to play the other 4 events. And I think I've got that guy in my crosshairs. Is it too much of a reach on him yet? Who else is still left? Justin Rose, Matthew Fitzpatrick, James Hahn off the board. I'm just trying to look at the rankings here and see who's been taken and who's not been taken. Oh, I have a couple of guys. Okay, watch this. If I can get both of these guys, I'm going to love it. Hold on. Joaquin Niemann's off the board. All right, one is Doc. So I'm going to take Doc Redman here. Because I think he's been an alternate in these in the Zozo and the CJ Cup. I don't think he's in the Masters, but I assume he's going to play the other 4 events. Maybe Bermuda, Mayakoba, all that stuff. I've got one other guy, and I don't even know if he's in the player pool. I'll have to look him up here in a second. But someone who might be playing quite a bit outside of this week and next week. Let's see. The problem is I guess I at least have to get 4 guys who are playing this week, though, to start them, or I'll just be behind the 8 ball. So this is kind of tough. Maybe the roster should have been 12. Ben On's off the board. Is Zalatoris here? Yeah, Willie Z. That's where I'm going. I'm going to take Willie Z. So here's my lineup thus far. Hideki, Harris English, Doc Redman, Will Zalatoris out of the 11 spot. I think that's okay. Hideki and English are both in the field this week. Doc and Will obviously not. I have 4 picks remaining. I'm going to need to fill this out with at least 2 more guys who are playing this week. And a lot of them have already been taken, although I don't want to just burn guys. Paul Casey off the board. Who might be good for this week? But also, I also want future weeks too. Let me make this bigger. So, okay, Niemann's off the board. That would have been a good one. Okay. I've got 1 in my head, 2, 3. And I got to remember, I can drop these guys. I can trade these guys. It's not like best ball, right? So I'm going to write a couple down here without saying them. James asks, Joel Damon is playing this week and presumably in everything but the Masters, right? Without looking it up, sounds right. Now, I don't know if he'll play everything, right? These guys aren't going to play 7 weeks in a row. It's conceivable he goes undrafted, I think, because he hasn't been playing all that well. So we'll keep an eye. Comedy Mogul now has loaded up. If that's the same guy who took, let me see. I also think he has DJ. He does. Look at this team. Dustin Johnson, Tony Finau, Tiger Woods. He's got 2 guys who have tested positive for COVID. I just think that you're not going to get a lot of starts out of these guys, right? Tiger's going to play twice. He's going to play Zozo and Augusta. Tony, I guess, might be back next week. I guess we're waiting for him to go through the protocol. DJ might play once, which might be the Masters. So it might be a lot of roster movements for Comedy Mogul in the next couple weeks, which is fine. Cam Davis off the board. That's a pretty good one. Kokrak off the board. Corey Connors, Sergio Garcia. It's still Corey Connors, Sergio Garcia. It's still a lot of picks back to me. We're about to make the snake here. We're at 4-9. It's going to loop back around. So we'll see. But I've got 3 guys written down that are not only playing this week, but I wouldn't be opposed to having them a bit more long-term. And then, of course, I can always make roster movements from there. Here's my team again. Hideki, Harris English, Doc Redman, Will Zalatoris. Since I'm at the end of one of the rounds, I'm going to get 2 picks within pretty quick succession. So I should be able to grab 2. If they're both there, or if 3, I have 3 guys written down. If 2 of them are there, I should be able to grab them both. Okay, flurry of picks off the board. Sergio, HV3, Kevin Kisner, Cameron Champ, Joel Damon, CT Pan, all just went off the board. We're now into round 5. This is 5.2. A minute per round. This thing flies. Is Cam Smith still available? I think so. Maybe not. Yeah, he is. He's available. Cam Smith is still there. He's an option. Good eye, Jacob. Cam Smith still available. Spring Break Boys is staying very on brand. He's got Ricky. He's got Spieth. Very on brand here. Stuart Sink off the board to Tree Lines Parklands. My guys are still out there. I've got 3 guys that are still out there and available. I'm going to try to snatch 2 of them up at the turn here. It's on Gilmore Girls. Apologies, it's on EPAT. I just had to restart my I don't know if I lost you guys, but I just had to restart something on my side. I think it stayed up the entire time. Reminder, if you are looking for CJ Cup live chat, it's at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. 2 live chats today. First time in Run Good history. EPAT has 25 seconds to go. Let's look at his team because I want to ask him about this later. We're going to record later. EPAT took Bryson, which I'd love to hear about. Tommy, of course. Sergio. Look at this team. Look, this is a squad. Who's he going to take here? If we were to do this, I guess there'd be some value in putting together a cheat sheet, because with the way that Fantrax has them in the pool is just not going to work. So probably putting together some cheat sheets would be valuable. Eric took Gary Woodland. Bomb and Gouge took Adam Scott. I still have 3 guys on my list. Oh, there goes one of them. Adam Hadwin, T it high, let it fly. Just took Adam Hadwin from me. He was a guy I wanted. And I have a feeling this is going to start the run before it gets to me. Hadwin was on my list. Anirban Lahiri off the board at 5'8", the 56th overall pick. Comedy Mogul, who is he going to add to Dustin Johnson, Tiger Woods, whoever else is on that team? Tony Finau, Patrick Cantlay. A lot of big names, I'll tell you that. There's Cam Smith. Cam Smith out. All right, so I'll at least get one of these guys that I have listed. There's one pick ahead of me. Reevy's out. Okay, so here we go. I'm going for guys who are playing this week. And also, I wouldn't mind churning them later, but I also wouldn't mind owning them later. So let me see if I can find him here. One's Russell Henley. I don't think he's been taken yet. Okay, here's Russell. So I'm going to take Russ. And in about 2 more picks, I'm going to try to get my other guy. The third one was Hadwin. Evan. It is nice, isn't it? It is nice. And the thing about golf, though, is like there's so many guys, especially like this, is there's so many strategies, as I feel like we're all playing different games right now. Like some are playing longer term, some are playing, it's not like football where you necessarily get a run of position players or anything like that. So it is interesting. Ian Poulter off the board. One more pick, and then I'll try to pick up my guy, who I'm surprised hasn't been taken yet. He actually might have been. No, I think I'm good. All right, Lonzo's off the board. I'm going to take Mac Hughes, if he's still here. Yeah, he should be. Okay. So I get him for this week, and I get him for a couple other weeks as well. All right. Yeah, I had to I don't know what was going on. I had to restart my connection here for a second, so hopefully we start to stabilize a little bit. I'll look into it for the live or the live chat later too. I think I just have a lot going on right now. There's a lot of windows open. I had to restart my connection over here, so hopefully it stabilizes a bit. Billy Horschel off the board. So now I only have 2 picks left. So here's my team. Hideki, English, Doc, Will Zalatoris, Russell Henley, Mackenzie Hughes. Now, I have 4 for this week. I can play Hideki, Harris, Russ, and Mackenzie Hughes this week at the CJ Cup. So I'm good there. So now I can either just go for kind of longer term plays, or I can go for, maybe some better options. Zach Johnson off the board. Let me start thinking about this. Let's pull up the official World Golf Rankings. I think Kevin Na's still there. I think Ryan Palmer's still there. I can look for this week too. Are all these guys taken? I wouldn't mind getting freaky now that I've got, is Sergio still out there? I could play Sergio this week. Would I play Sergio over Henley or Hughes? Probably. That's also going to be a tough decision, right? If I take is Sergio even still available? No, he's not. So it doesn't matter. Is Day available? I don't think he is. He is not. Siwoo's out. So we're kind of running low on guys I'd want to play for this week. So maybe we can stock up on some guys. Who would be a good little stash? Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me write this down. Interesting. Wouldn't mind that. Plays a lot. Jason Day just went off the board. So Scott Piercy, Jason Day, Eric Van Ruin off the board. Eric Van Ruin. All right, I've got one guy who might be a good stash here. Kisner, says Jacob. That's not bad. Is everybody in like the top 10, top 20 gone? Berger can't lay. Fleetwood Finau. Fitzpatrick? Fitzpatrick is out. JT Poston off the board. That's Oliver barking at another dog. I think he's winning. Palmer's off the board. We still got probably, what, 8 or so picks? Actually, probably more than that to get back to me. Kevin Na off the board. Tiger's already out, Cole. So he's already been taken. Tiger, I think, in a way better than Bryson, because you get Tiger for 2 starts. You're only going to get Bryson for 1. So that's something to consider. Man, we're pretty deep into the world rankings now, aren't we? HV3 went. That was a pretty good pick. Will Gordon off the board. Trying to think of a couple of guys that maybe some of these younger guys. Hold on, I got a couple names in mind. It's weird. It's weird to try to change my brain to season long, quite frankly. Oh, that's a good one. All right, I've got like 4 names written down, so we'll see if they get back to me. I'm okay with Ventura because I think he's going to play a lot. Kind of has to. Now he's already off the board, so I'm not going to be able to pick him. But it is really hard to change my brand, especially over 7 weeks. If this was over the course of the season, it'd actually 50 weeks or whatever, it'd actually be a lot easier. Trying to do this over just a 7-week stretch, you really have to try to guess on where guys are gonna start. Yeah, Ventura I think was an auto pick earlier. I think it was it timed out, and Fantrax has him as like the top ranked guy. So I don't know if Ventura would have been drafted, but he's already gone. Kevin Streelman, Shane Lowry, Pat Perez, Matt Kuchar off the board. Does that complete? No. Let's see X-Men's team. He has 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, he's got one more pick left. Brian Harman off the board. Eric Patterson. That was a guy that I had on my list, so I'm going to cross off Harman. So the guys that were on my list were Henley, Hughes, Hadwin, Harman. I guess all the H's. I got 2 of them. I did not get Hadwin. I did not get Harman. I have 3 guys remaining on my list that I think might be interesting. And I will tell you, they are not guys that are playing this week, I think. Actually, one might be. One is playing this week. The other 2 are not. I'm pretty comfortable rolling into CJ Cup with Hideki, Harris, Henley, Hughes, the H's. I'm pretty comfortable doing that. Get a little Smiley Kaufman action in there. Harman went, then it was Leishman, Hubbard, Shank, Sung Kang. I'm up in 1 pick, and I'm going to make my last 2 picks very, very soon here, and I'll be done. Okay, Denny McCarthy's off the board. That was one of the guys. So Read It, Roll It, I feel like has sniped a couple of guys from me. Okay, so Harman and McCarthy were the 2 that I wanted. I've got 2 others that I'm not thrilled about. Oh, man. Now I feel like one of them is kind of a waste. I'm going to take Carlos Ortiz was one of them. I'll take Carlos Ortiz. Because of his international status, I think he might also play next week too. And he kind of has to play a lot. I think we could get a lot of Carlos Ortiz in the next couple of weeks. Snedeker and Burns off the board. My last guy that I had was Justin Suh. One of these guys who's looking for status, who is almost required to play a lot because they're trying to rack up enough points. So I'm going to take Justin Suh, But quite frankly, that's going to round out my team, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of churn on this team. Hideki, Harris, Doc, and Will Zalatoris, I'm cool with those. I'm cool with Henley. I'm cool with Hughes. Those last 2 spots, my 7th and 8th round picks, that's going to be churn city, I think. I just think, especially from week to week, as I have to find 4 guys to play, because I assume next week I'll still get, I might have the same 4 starters 2 weeks in a row if Hideki, Harris, Henley, and Mackenzie Hughes play again, because it's a similar structure for next week. We'll see. Jason Duffner out. He's been taken. So we've got 6 or 7 picks to go left in this draft. Really weird. What I think we might want to do, like, I don't know if more roster spots and more starters is better. What if we went 12 roster spots and 6 starters? Would that make it any better? There's just going to be, Zinzun. That's a pretty good pick, I think, in the 8th round. Danny Lee went in the 8th round. Alex Noren is out. I'll look through some of these teams here when they're done. Tyler Duncan. He gone. Eric Patterson's last pick is going to be who's it going to be, Eric? I wish I could make this screen like larger to read. Adam Long, pretty good actually. I like that. Gilmore Girls, so 4 picks to go. Gilmore Girls takes Henrik Stenson. Tree-lined Parklands. Yeah, the events are, here are the events. CJ Cup, Zozo, Bermuda, Houston, Augusta, RSM, Mayakoba. 7 events. Not the Hero World Challenge, nothing like that. Then there's going to be those 3 weeks off to the Tournament of Champions. And then the goal would be to start any new leagues at the Sony, which would, I think, make the most sense. Harry Higgs out, Luke List out, X-Men with the last pick of the draft, Brendan Steele. Let's look at some of these teams here. So my team we talked about, Bomb and Gouge, Xander, Scotty, Rose, Connors, Scott, EVR, Leishman, Duncan. Started out really well. I love Xander Scheffler. I think the rest of it's fine. Comedy Mogul, this is the most interesting one, I think, because a lot of unknowns here. DJ, Tony, Tiger are 3 pretty significant unknowns. Tiger probably plays twice. DJ probably plays once. I don't know what Tony's going to do. Filled it out with some decent plays, though. EPAT, I want to talk to him about. Bryson in the 2nd round. Then he took a lot of the Euro guys. You know, Tommy, Sergio. He does have Woodland, Poston, Harmon, Long. Those guys will play every single week. That's pretty strong. Rory, Hovland, Louis, Varner. Oh man, so far this might be your favorite here. Rory, Victor. Oh my gosh, that's pretty strong. Bubba, Palmer, Fratelli, Stenson. Obviously not as strong, but those were his 5th through 8th round picks. JT, Patrick Reed, Abraham Answer, Sebastian Munoz, Benny On. Then Poulter, Lonto, Snedeker, Sam Burns. These guys will play a lot, at least. I'll give them that. Read it, roll it, hold it. I swear stole everybody I wanted right out in front of me. Eric thinks his team is loaded. I'm not so positive. It's okay. We'll talk about that. Read it, roll it. Berger, Webb, Neiman, Casey. I kind of dig that. He stole McCarthy from me. Ches, this is a pretty good team as well, I think. Talked about my team already. Spring Break Boys, this one's actually pretty strong as well. Wolf is great because he's going to get into everything and he's going to play a lot. Siwoo will play a lot. Ricky, to be determined. Cam Champ, Smith, Will Gordon, Pat Perez, Luke List. Wyatt Slater. I think this was an auto pick for Christopher Ventura, so unfortunately that was his 1st round pick. Grio Han, Cam Davis is a good one. I like that a lot. Closed it out with Shank and Zhang, which I think those might be the better 7th and 8th round picks without having the whole thing in front of me. T it high, let it fly. This is pretty good too. Morikawa, I guess Koepka we'll see. But to get Hadwin in there, that was a guy I wanted at that point in the draft. That was pretty good as well. Treeline Parklands, Sungjae, Todd, Hatton, Kisner. I mean, I gotta love the Sungjae. I appreciate the effort to go get Sungjae at 1.3 because that he might be the most valuable player in this format, quite frankly. And then X-Men, JT Hoffman, Hostler, Damon, Pan, Streelman, Lowry, Steele. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that one, X-Men. I love Justin Thomas, though. I'll tell you that. All right. That'll do it for this live stream. Again, there is a CJ Cup live chat, 3 p.m. Eastern time today, Wednesday. So check that out. The evolution of this fantasy league idea will it'll evolve, I guess is the way to put that. So stay in touch. I'll try to blast out some information, some results. I think I can make this league public. So if you guys want to follow along and just see how this goes for the next 7 weeks as we try to find what's good and what's bad for upcoming season. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Much appreciate you joining me, and talk to you at 3 o'clock. Later.